Hockey, what is it? Is it a sport? Is it a game? Is it a way of life? Is it a religion? You know what? It is all of the above. And I want to show you something. This is hockeyarena.net. Now, some of you may remember the game Eastside Hockey Manager for PC, where you basically worked as a manager of an NHL team with your goal to win the Stanley Cup. That was a great game, you know, and it was fun, but it was nothing on this, and I'll tell you why. For a start, this is free. You can go anywhere in the world. This is a browser game. You can go anywhere in the world on any PC, on any browser. You can load this up and you're there. You don't need software installed. You don't need to carry a computer with you. It's there no matter where you go. And the third thing is, and this is the most important thing, unlike Eastside where you've played against a computer, you're actually playing against real people here, because someone in your city, in your country, or on the other side of the world is sitting in front of their computer doing exactly the same thing you are and managing their team. So it's not as easy as just going, I've got a team here, I'm going to win, because you don't know what tactics that player's used. You don't know what players they've just gone to the market and bought. You don't know if they've scouted your team. It's a real strategy game. So anyway, I'm going to show you just a real quick run through of this. When you join, you create a team. Now, in my case, I've called my team the Lizardmen. Pardon me. I'm going to go to the info page here. I've called my team the Lizardmen. They play at the Lizard Pit. So as you can see here, my team name, Lizardmen, Lizard Pit. Those who know me will know that the Gold Coast Blue Tongues, our local ice hockey team, we call them the Lizardmen, and the Lizard Pit is the arena they play in. So I kind of stole it from them. Shows you how much money you've got, your size of the fan club, and the change, etc. Now, you have complete control over what games you play. Now, the league matches are automatically set for you in your calendar, so of course you can't change those. So you've got league matches here and here. You manually have to set your friendly games. If you don't, you have an empty space. So you know you can go here and you can actually schedule games with people you've never met, just friendly games. For example, this guy here, I scheduled just earlier on today. As you can see, their team is pretty strong, so I might not win the game, but it's a friendly match. I set my match importance to low. I tell my team, you know, it doesn't matter if you win the game. Just go out there and play soft. It doesn't really matter, because a low importance game improves my team's spirit, so that when they play the next game, this one down here, you know, they're going to have a higher team spirit because it's going to be a league match. I'll put it back to a normal game, and you have control over the tactics. You have control over whether you pull your goalie. You have control over whether you play 3 lines or 4. You can set winning, cash bonuses to the team if they win. So, you can offer them, 10 grand each if they win. Now, that might seem like a stupid thing, but it actually inspires the team to play more. So if you get to the playoffs, you make it a must-win game with a $100,000 bonus. It's going to cost you a lot of money if you win the game, but it's a playoff game. It's worth the cost. You can set the tactics of all your games you play. So you can set your ticket price, your match importance, low, normal, or high. Your shot aiming. If you scout a goalie and you know that they've got a weak blocker side, you can set your shot aiming to blocker for that particular game. You can set your ice time distribution. You can copy your opponent's lines so that whenever they change a line, you change a line. You can set you have 30 tactical points if you leave it standard, or you can set so that your first period has 20 for offense and your third period has 10 for defense. Your fourth line, you're pulling your goal. You have complete control. You have to manually upgrade your stadium, your training area, your regeneration area, your youth school, your cheerleaders, your scouting and your marketing. You have to upgrade these manually. It all costs money, so it's not something you do in a row. It takes a lot of time. This is my 4th season. Each season takes 32 games and then the playoffs. So you're looking at about 2 months from start to finish of a season. So I've been involved in this for about 9 months now, and of course it's about 7 months now. Sorry, and it takes time. I'm only at 50% upgrade. I've only got 6,000 seats. It's because it's not cheap upgrading your arena. But that's part of the fun of the game. If you want to upgrade your arena, you have to strategize so that you have the money. You can't just go, oh, I've got money, let's do it. You have to work at it. And you have to, well, if you've got money, do you buy a new player, or do you work on upgrading your stadium instead? So you really have to think about these things. You can control, you can view your entire economy, so how much money you have how much money you've spent and how much money you've made over the case of today, this week, last week, or the season. You can scout players, you can accept challenges from other people around the world, you can get players from the youth school, you can jump to the players quickly. This is where you set your actual lines. So you set your lineups. You've got your players' attributes of attacking, shooting, passing. I can't remember what SP stands for. Forgive me. Strength, self-control, and energy. So you can jump. You can go into the lines themselves, where you can actually create your lines. We'll just let this one load. Where you can set the priority of your players. If you want your top lines to play the same amount of ice time, and then your third and fourth line to play less time, you can prioritize that. You can simply completely remove your fourth line temporarily. You can change your aggression so that if you have a line that has really good players of self-control, give them more aggression so they play a harder game but don't get penalized. If they have low self-control, give them a low aggression teams. You see the chemistry between, the tactics between intuitive, short passes, counter-attacks, checking, shots from the blue line, pressing, behind the net play. You can set your offensive and defensive tactics. Again, you have complete control. If you go into a line, for example, this is my top line, you can set your right wing, centre, left wing. You can set the tactics they've got behind the net. And it shows here all the different chemistry of how those tactics work. So behind the net is the best option for these players. If you change a player, this is going to change, and all of these numbers will drop because the chemistry drops. If you put a player back on it a month later, it'll go straight back because the game will actually remember that there is chemistry between certain players, much like a real game. You set your power play, penalty killing lines exactly the same way. You can view stats of how your players are doing. You can buy and sell players in the marketplace. So this is a list of the players that I've currently got on the market. Obviously, no one's bid on them yet. Players I've bid on already. You can view players who are finishing, who are coming up for the deadline and say the next. We'll just say, for example, 2 hours. We want to find players who are unrestricted free agents, which means they're going to be 27 years or older, and we want to make sure they're priced, we'll say less than, what's that? Make sure they're priced less than $10 million. So you can completely control your search over exactly what you want, and there you go. It'll bring up a list, the deadline of when they're finishing, and you can sort by clicking on these tabs. The potential, of course, you want to get people who are above 0, so you can go through and go, well, you know what, this guy here has a defensive ranking of, this guy here, 50, for example, relatively good quality, still got some life left in him, he's going cheap, so you click on his name. So you can then go in here and you can go, well, this is his stats. He's played no matches so far. His speed's pretty good. His strength is really good. Not too good self-control, but he's got good defence. He'd be good as a second or third line veteran defenceman. He's got a few seasons left in him, so you come down here and you go, well, there's 842 and his deadline finishes in about just under 2 hours. So you can go here and you can go, well, I'll bid $5 million for him, and so that's how you buy and sell players. If you have stars on your team who are players who do really well during the regular season, you make weekly merchandise sales. So you come in here, marketing department, you have to upgrade it to get better sales. You can track players, you can run a comparison across the entire league you're in with top 10 players, like top 10 players based on training, based on ability index, and so on. And then of course you've got your league, which is the fun part. This is it shows you the standings. So we're 6 games in, for example. At the moment I'm currently leading. I should point out this is the first time I've ever done this. 6 wins, no losses, 63 goals for, none against. And I've never done that before either. So in here you can view the statistics. Same thing as there was in the players, but you can view stats across the entire league to see how your players stack up against all the other players from all the other teams. You can, when the playoffs start, this is the playoff ladder. Shows you the results of the games and where people are standing. Shows you the matches played today. Shows you the incoming players, the outgoing players, and the injured players. Tournaments, the national championship. These are all tournaments that are held during the regular season, separate to the actual season itself. It's an incredibly fun game and so detailed. So here's the thing: if you join, let me know, and I'll help you get started, because this is a game that you want to get involved in. Thanks.